skills, like people who want to go into data, but their background is stopping them from moving into data, right? And we've run a couple of trainings, and I mean with good testimonial. But what we've discovered is that some people, their CV does not really attract the right recruiters, and that's why I'm here to do justice to that. So not like I'm perfect, but I have few experience or evidence to show that I can help you, right? And I can also link you to other people who can help you if I can help you. So my name is Opeyemi Ogundile, not Ogundipe, Ogundile. Yeah. Okay, just a brief about me. If you can see my screen. All right. So I okay, I will just summarize what I have there. So I came from the academia as a lecturer, and coming to the UK, I realized, um, I mean, if I want to be going to the academia, that would take me some time. So I had to hone my skills. Started in one of the high street bank as a customer service and operation analyst, and then moved and become an advanced customer service operation analyst, like moving from contact center to um, commercial cards, where I was doing the data role for them. Even though my profile was just customer service and operation analyst, but what I was doing was data role. And how did I come about that? It was because that was my interest. Like that's what I want to do, and significantly, I was able to help my team. Then from there, I moved to another role and became senior credit risk analyst. Yeah, which I am currently occupying at the moment. So, and I've published quite a lot of papers in reputable journals. If you want to, you can set my name, and if you are interested in mathematics or statistics or data science, you might want to read those papers. Thank you. So, what is the outline for today? Can we see my slide clearly, please?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so can you
Yes,
see
sir.
the introduction? And is it on outline or introduction?
Outline.
Outline. Okay. I think I have to be changing it on Teams, not on my laptop. Okay. Okay. All right. So the outline for today, I'm going to make it brief, but it will be very conversational, not just talk and talk like that. Practical experience and all. So introduction, then importance of a good CV. I'm going to focus on good CV, not really bad CV, because I like to be positive in whatever I do. I don't like to dwell on negativity, but I mean, once we talk about positive things, you definitely you know that the opposite is the negative one. So and then key sections of a strong CV, common mistakes to avoid, tailoring your CV, final tips. And I just want to also note that no man is an island. I myself, I've had to get somebody to review my CV November last year. One of the directors in where I work to review my CV, right? So I've reviewed my CV like up to 2 or 3 times now. So CV review is not something that is static, it's dynamic. So you have to tailor it to your need at the right time, right? So I'm not going to tell you that what I'm going to tell you now is the perfect thing. Is so you have to tailor it to what you want to have, what your individual need, and that's what I want us to look at, right? Okay. So introduction, a way of introducing CV, right? Why CV matter, right? So I would like to talk about why CV matter, and then how to create an effective CV that grabs the attention of recruiters, so and hiring managers. So in the UK, for example, I know some of us are in Nigeria, some of us are in the UK. So CV gets the attention of recruiters, and then from there, you get the attention of hiring managers. But the first place your CV gets to is your recruiter. So once your recruiter sees your CV and it doesn't see, he or she does not see what they are looking for, they throw it away and it doesn't get to the hiring manager. But if the CV is appealing to the recruiter and then it gets to the hiring manager, chances are you are going to be called for interview, right? And even if you are not called, you are going to get a good feedback. Sometimes, based on your CV, you don't get a good feedback. Based on your CV, you don't get a good feedback. So I can hear myself. Can hear myself. Um, can Mr. Sources please mute? Mute. Okay. Okay. So hello. Okay. Thank you for muting. So once you have like a good CV, it gives you that leverage, you know, gives you that positive impression that, oh, this person knows what he's doing. Sometimes we don't get feedback, and the reason why we don't get feedback is because your CV, right, is not that, like, it's not that good. They feel like you are just looking for sharp things. I mean, so but some people, they have good feedback, and then they still don't get the job. But you still discover that the hiring manager will call them and tell them, see, I can see from your skills, you have, like, you have the potential, you have what it takes to get this particular role. But at the moment, we've gone with the strong candidate. I've had that kind of experience before. I know that kind of talk, that kind of honest conversation gives you that motivation to go ahead. I've had that like maybe one or twice, which prepared me for a better position, right? So you need to highlight your skills, you need to highlight your experience, and then potential in I mean, and the potential, like, where your strengths are, you need to highlight in a possible best way. Cool. So so importance of a good CV, I mean, it's more than a list of jobs. A good CV is your personal marketing strategy. Everybody in life will have our strategy. Every bank, every organization has its strategy. So your CV must have, I mean, its own strategy, right? You need to convince your recruiter or the hiring manager that yes, I have what it takes. Because okay, some people are given opportunity to even talk to the recruiter before they apply. But think about it, some don't even have the opportunity to talk to the recruiter before they apply. You know, they don't have the opportunity. So even though you've spoken to the recruiter before you apply itself, you still need that good CV, because once they are reviewing your CV, I mean, they are not thinking about you alone. You have spoken to a recruiter or an hiring manager, over 100 people as well as spoken to that manager, right? So it's your CV that will distinguish you from being thrown away or from being selected. So so it shows why you are the best or you are fit for the role. It should be clear, it should be concise and tailored to each position. I've seen a situation where somebody is applying for data role, is applying for customer service role, is applying for warehouse role, and they are using the same CV. That is really appalling. That's not good. So at the moment, your CV must be tailored to where you want to go to. You want to apply for business analyst, your CV must be channeled to it. You want to apply for a data science role, you want to apply for maybe project manager role. Your CV must be what tailored to it. It must be tailored to each and every role you're applying to. All right, so let's start. So now, key sections of a strong CV. An essential CV sections, like this. I mean, this is not a way that, okay, something that, okay, you must stick to completely, right, based on your situation, right? I'm just trying to um hammer on that particular point. But then these are the tested, and then the if you go online and do your research, you can see that these sections that I've listed there are very, very much important. Although in Nigeria, for example, people likes education, so they want to put their I have PhD in aeronautic engineering, I have PhD in mechanical engineering. They want it to come first. But in this climb, in this place that we are, nobody cares about your education, right? They don't. Yeah, education is good, but then you need to talk about your experience. So that's why education does not really come first. So first is key contact details. So on your CV, you need to have like a key contact details, like at the right hand corner of your CV. You need to mention, okay, I live in UK, for example. Not like don't mention you live in your streets. You don't need to mention your streets. You don't need to mention your house number, right? Just put there like phone number, Yahoo Mail or Gmail, and then maybe Manchester or Liverpool, UK, or Birmingham, UK, for example. You know, that's just a contact detail because some jobs are they want to know your location. They want to know how far you can commute to the office. For example, if I'm applying to quantitative analyst role or control risk control, for example, most risk control are based in London. Like 95% of quantitative analyst roles, trading roles are based in London. So they want to know where you live. They want to know if you can commune, because they go to office maybe once in a week or twice in a week. They want to know if you can come to the office, right? And so you need to put it there. So that will tell the recruiter, okay, this person lives in maybe London, this person lives in Manchester. Okay, let's see. Then your mobile number, they need to contact you. I mean, I've applied for a role before that they had to call me that okay, after the interview we just want to check on you if you are still interested. We are still recruiting a lot of people, but we know this is taking longer than usual, but we just want to talk to you. So if you don't have your mobile number there, how will they call you? You know, something like that. Now the second one is your personal statement and profile. So this has to be concise. This does not you don't need to write like plenty things like just put there like I'm an aspiring data analyst or business analyst or project manager. I have these skills. I have this. I'm knowledgeable in SQL. I'm knowledgeable in Python or maybe advanced Python skills, or maybe I have knowledge in Power BI, Tableau. Then currently I'm now looking for opportunity to work in maybe as a business analyst. You need to show that you have interest in working. So here is where I am at the moment. Here is where I'm going to. You need to show that I'm going so place. For example, for those who have written paper before or you have done a project, there's something we call abstract. So abstract is like a summary, a summary, a one-page summary of all everything you've done before, everything you've done your research, from your introduction, even sometimes from your topic introduction, um, your results. I mean, your method, your methodology, your result, then your conclusion. That's like your personal statement, or some people call it summary. Some people call it profile. They call it summary, call it profile. So it's like it's embedded your like all the information that you have put like on that 3 pages. That's that should take like maybe like maybe 2 paragraphs or 1 paragraph, for example. So then you move to your work experience. So in this UK, for example, I'm not going to base it on UK alone. But anyway, but I just want to use UK as a case study. Work experience is very key in this country. You can have PhD in whatever. If you don't have the prerequisite work experience, you will never be called. You might be in a particular company, like in a particular team, and they are looking for a senior role or something, and you don't have the experience, they will never give you. Sometimes it's not because they are biased. Sometimes there might be some key issues, but the first thing they look at is experience. And once you pass that experience, maybe they are looking for headcount, for example. Maybe they want somebody from outside. So headcount can be like a negative thing for other people as well. I've seen people who have been like they've been a victim of headcount. But then, first thing is your work experience. You need to have work experience, and these people are not biased about it. They just know. It's not like in Nigeria where somebody doesn't have experience about something, but because of favoritism, or because they are related to one uncle or brother, they will put the person there, and in the end everything will be sport. But here, because people like to take responsibility for every of their actions, so they know that this person has the prerequisite experience. I will give he or she the job. I know it's not always like that sometimes, but that is like 90%. Other factors are there. as well, because these people too, they are not saints. They are also human beings. So but then, as people, we also need to do our bit. So work experience is key. You need to put your work experience, maybe 4 years or 5 years, maybe 4 years of or five. I mean, 3 to 5 years of your work experience. Make sure is there, and then your education now comes in place. So your education comes in place. You can put, okay, I have BSc in microbiology. You know, um, I mean, it's not compulsory you put your grade. You can put your grade. If you have first class, nice, perfect. If you have 2-1, upper, nice, perfect. 2-2, anything you put there, and then your qualification, probably you have certification in maybe data, whatever, data and analytics, or maybe data engineering, or maybe qualification in lending skills. I mean, there are some qualifications that most of us don't look at. I stumbled on something recently. It's called lending skills. Some of these banks, some of these people who give maybe um, loans to customers, they look for those kind of skills. A lot of us just want to go for data. But I saw it last week. I'm like, so lending skills, just one exam, then you've passed it. I mean, you had it to your profile. So you can add something like that, lending skills, or maybe CFA, for example. You started your CFA, you've passed level one. I mean, you can put it there, maybe CFA level one, or FRM, for example. I don't know if most of us are familiar with it, but most people in risk management, they either go for CFA or they go for FRM certifications, or they go for the normal um, Institute of Risk Management certificate, or if you are the kind of person like me that is driven towards quantitative finance, you can go for certification in quant finance. I mean, those are those are the certifications that when people see on your CV, they'll be like, oh, this person, yeah, because they are sometimes more powerful than education, you know. Yeah, so you can put that on your CV as well. Then your skills now, your skills is divided into two. I've seen a lot of people, they overshadow their CV with skills. Like they just put their stakeholder management, coaching, time management, customer service oriented. You know, put a lot of things like I've done it before. Don't get me wrong. Even when me too, I was desperate. You need to see some of my CV too, but you know, I mean, I've been able to train as a lecturer. I mean, I put there. I've trained. I've mentored. I mean, 500 students. To achieve academic success. Those things. But then you discover that some of those things are not really needed, right? Not, I mean, you just need to make it coincide. Like develop skills. You can divide it into two. There's something we call the soft skills, and there's something we call the hard skills. Now, both of them, they don't, like, one is not more important than another. Both of them are important. There are some jobs in this UK that if you have soft skill, if you are willing to learn, and you don't have the technical skills, and you are, I know some of us are Muslim, some of us are Christian, but you are favored. They will tell you that because of your willingness to learn, we will give you the job. I've heard that testimony from people before. I've seen people that got that. I mean, they don't have technical background, but because of their soft skills, ability to learn, your willingness, and when you are talking to, you know, they give them the job. So what I'm saying in essence that you need to break it into two: your hard skills and your soft skills. When you're talking about your hard skills, for example, anyone that's going for data role, I mean, one of the hard skills is you need to know SQL. Just put it there in one of the bullet points: SQL, Tableau, Python. In Python, you can put a bracket and say maybe Panda, NumPy, because you are not. Nobody can tell me it's like a guru of or an expert of Python. Python is developed every day, so you can put it. I love to I love to put it on my CV that, like, knowledge in Python, not expert in Python. So I have basic working knowledge in Python, right? So I don't put it there so that when you start your job, they'll be giving you one big project to do in Python. That's how some people, misbehave, and they get to the role, and people start giving them high priorities, and they don't deliver. You know, so even your SQL, you can put there. Okay, SQL, um, in your SQL bracket, put it join, you know, basic join extraction of data, something like that. Then Tableau or Power BI, those are some of the like the technical skills that they will be looking for. If you are someone like me that has a mathematics background, you can put it there, statistical modeling, time like mathematical modeling. Those are skills, technical skills. Then we can now go to maybe soft skills like okay, I like to call my own soft skills transferable skills. I believe that those are skills that you can transfer to people, like leadership, you can put it there leadership, you can put it there time management, you can put there maybe stakeholder management, you can problem solving is like a soft skill as well, because everybody needs somebody that is analytical in nature, and if you can analyze, that means you can solve problem, right? Yeah, you can put coaching as well. I mean, some people put record management. I mean, eyes for attention to details, like ability to explain non-tech I mean technical things to non-technical person is very important, especially if you are going into more IT space, like go into IT space because some of your bosses, like I have that kind of experience, our bosses don't really know the codes that we run. All they just want to see is the percentages, percentage of customers who apply for this, percentage of the money that the bank is going to get. That's what they are interested in. They are not interested in your Python or in your SQL or in your Excel. Yeah, so something like that. Right. So contact details, full name, professional email if you have, LinkedIn profile if relevant. That's why I put there if relevant. Some people don't have LinkedIn. Some, but I've always encouraged people to have LinkedIn. Right? I've always encouraged people to have LinkedIn. And another thing I've encouraged people to have is your GitHub. If you are going to be in IT, for example, you need to have GitHub. It's very, very important. You need to have your GitHub, because if you are the kind of person that you've not had any hands-on experience, please, your GitHub is where your project will stay. You need to create a project. Even if I used to tell people, even if it's project that somebody has created, just go and watch the person's YouTube and create the same thing. Create like 5, 6, 7, 8. You only need like 1 hour, 2 hours. Go and rewatch another person's project. Create the project. Do it yourself. Put it in your own GitHub, and then create a GitHub website and put it on your CV. The reason is that if you don't have like hands-on experience, the first thing when an hiring manager, if your CV passes through the recruiter and gets to the hiring manager, chances are they will click on that link, and then they will see your project, they will see your SQL code, they will see your Python code, they will see the Excel that you have done, they will see the Power BI that you have created, they will see the dashboard that you have created. So that will give them that flexibility, that's encouraging. If this person has done this, they will not know that you looked at a video and created it. Even if you looked at something and you created it, that means you know it. Because for example, your teacher taught you, right? And you can understand. So knowledge is not something that we brought from heaven. Somebody must conceive that knowledge first and then share it. And for the fact that somebody can do something and you can replicate it, it shows how powerful your mind is. It shows how knowledgeable you are too. That's I always encourage people to do something like that. So avoid unnecessary details like marital status. Some people even go at the end and put photos. I mean, if requested, put it. But I think photo is not needed in your CV, please. Now we move to personal statement profile. What should be there? Who you are. Personally, if they ask me now, who am I? Okay, my name is Opeyemi Ogundile. I am a risk data analyst or senior risk data analyst with bank. I have over maybe 12 years experience working in education, working in finance. I have social skills in Python, in SQL, in SAS, Power BI or Tableau. And then I'm looking for roles in so place. Maybe as a biomedical doctor, for example. Maybe I want to change my role. I want to move into um, mathematical modeling for maybe health, for example, of tuberculosis, of HIV, of cancer, or whatever. Maybe that's where my goal is now. I want to change my role, so I'll put it there. Based on these things, based on what I've said, based on what I've done before, I am now looking for roles in blah blah blah. You know, example, analytical and detailed-oriented risk modeling analyst with experience in IFRS 9 models, skilled in SQL, SAS, and Power BI, seeking opportunities to apply data driven insight in credit risk strategy. That means I'm looking for a credit risk strategy role, right? This is where I'm coming from. This is my journey, right? And I'm looking for an opportunity. You need to state it there that you're looking for an opportunity. You don't just put your profile there and just put it there. You need to show an interest. People want you need to show you need to show your CV needs to show that you are interested in that role that you're applying to. You are interested. You don't just mention that, oh, I am this, I am that. You need to say it. They need to see that zeal in you. All right. So now let's talk about your work experience. Okay, list your most recent roles first. You don't need to. I know so many of us are good. Like from where I was coming from in the academia, right? When we want to apply for position for job, like if you look at it, they will tell you you need to put all your papers, everything. Like I used to have CV of close to 10 pages because all my papers I had like close to 40 papers that I've published, you know. But some of them, when I got to this place, now I realized that those papers, if they put it together, it might just maybe 10 papers because we wanted to publish because we want to be known. But some of them, one paper, three papers, you can turn it to one, one paper. So, but then if you see my CV that time, you would think, maybe this person is a professor because but that is not how it is. That is not how it should be. It just your job title it must be there, and you must put a correct job title, right? Put the correct job title. The company name, where you like the company you're working for, date of employment, maybe up to date or so year to this the year. And date of key responsibility and achievement. So this one is a bit you need to be able to talk about this very well. Like you need to reduce your responsibility and amplify your achievements when you're talking about your work experience, but don't remove your responsibility too much. I utilize SQL to analyze customer data, and then the results brought a significant increase in whatever, maybe 50% increase, 10% increase, you know. So with that, they know that okay, your role you have been able to use SQL to do whatever So focus on quantifying achievement where possible. Reduce default rate by 10% through prediction modeling. For example, my role currently, I have to use data to talk about like risk. Like I've been able to reduce default rate. So I am like in strategy department. So what we need to do is to monitor default rate, monitor portfolio, monitor new business, and see that they are performing at their best. And how do you know? You have to analyze the data. So once you analyze the data, then you can tell them, okay, this is what I've done. I've been able to reduce default rate by 10%. For example, I've tightened policy, like I've tightened like two or three of our policies. I've relaxed two or three of our policies to attract customers who are performing low, but now they are doing better. I've done that. So you need to say, oh, I've done this. I've worked on the projects. I've worked on several projects within my team, and these are the results. Because once you can say this in your work experience, in the interview it will not be difficult for you to mention. All right, so I think we've talked, okay, education. So your degree, institution, and graduation years, you don't really need to talk about, yeah, maybe, yeah, for if you have first class, put it, shine about it, 2-1, if you want to. I've seen a lot of people who have first class, they didn't put it on their CV. But if you have, please, I beg you, anybody that has first class, please put your first class. It's good. It's an achievement. The time I had a GP of first class, I know how it feels. And for some I missed out on getting first class. But I think in my coursework PhD, I was able to get first class. But that's, I wish I had it in my undergraduate, but if you have it, please put it. I like when I see that somebody say I have first class, but then, so but like generally people don't put it. They don't put their grade, right? So relevant certifications, just put your certifications, certificates in data analysis, courses that you have completed. For some of us that are like if you've done Udacity, if you've done data camp, if you've done Coursera, if you've even attended Equip for Life training, put it there. That this is what I've done, right? All right. So we talk about skills now. Highlight your relevant skills. SQL, SAS, Excel, Power BI. These are the tools that you need to use. They want to know that you can use it. They are analytical, I mean, credit risk analysis, data visualization. RF, those are analytical skills. You need to mention it as well. Then soft skills, teamwork, problem solving. They need a good communicator because you are going to be speaking to your colleague, your senior colleagues, and you're going to be speaking to senior managers. All right. So make sure you put that as well. All right. All right. So interest is not is optional. Some people put their interest in swimming, in sports, in this, in that. It's not compulsory. I used to put it before. Interest in like biography. I like to read people's biography. I like to read, put it there. I in football, sports. But if you are the kind of person, just put it there. But make sure that it doesn't take like all your page. Some people they will put everything that they like. You can just put two or three. That's it. You know. But yeah, so on references, like you don't need to put in Nigeria. I know people like to ask for three references. I know, but here just put available on request. Just make it available on request. All right. So now I know I've said a lot, but now we just need to look at possible mistakes to avoid, right? Now, this is very important. Spelling and grammar errors. I know all of us we are not English experts, but then this is that number one is very if a recruiter gets your CV now and then they saw spelling and grammar errors, that is a bad impression. Somebody has said that to me before that that's what they look for. I spoke with somebody, like, what are people looking for in a CV? And she told me that the first thing they look at, that when you send your CV and they spot error on it, spelling and grammar error, they feel demotivated. So we need to spot that. Long paragraphs instead of bullet points. Long paragraph instead of bullet point. You need to all those, like for example, like where the one I mentioned that I have trained like 500 students. That's not needed. Just bullet point. What have you done? This is this teamwork, time management, stakeholder management, leadership, communication. Just keep it short and simple. Then listing responsibility without achievement. Don't list you need to list your responsibility. Don't get me wrong. Not everything though, but you need to also put your achievement because you are you are showcasing your talent, you are showcasing yourself. Mention your achievement. This is what I've done. Right? Then using one generic CV for all application. Like I think I mentioned that this person wants to apply for data engineering, you will use one CV. You want to apply for cyber security, one CV. You want to apply for warehouse operative, one CV. It's not. I mean, that's a big mistake. Then irrelevant information, unrelated hobbies. Like you want to applying for data analyst role now. You are putting um maybe something that is related to humanities or something. I mean, unrelated hobbies. Just try to disregard it. Yeah, tailoring your CV. So align your CV with job description. That's what I normally do. Anytime I want to apply for a role or I want to help somebody to apply for a role, you need to look at the job description. So you need to. I mean, now that AI has even made it very easy for everybody. Like I don't know why people struggle to like do CV again or maybe interview, for example. Like ChatGPT is rich for you. The only thing I know people are struggling with, which people that I'm close to, if they are able to contact, I will be able to send you how to prompt AI like to answer your question. I have papers that people have written in that regard, and because that's the main thing. A lot of people don't know how to ask ChatGPT to help them. The main problem we're having now is people prompting ChatGPT or any AI platform to ask questions. So tailor your CV. You want to apply for a senior data role, for example, you are a data analyst and want to apply for senior data role, you need to you need to tailor your CV to that job description, to what they are looking for. It's, especially if it's NHS, whatever. NHS, they are they are funny about their CV and everything. They always talk about person specification. You need to do that as well, even though it's not covered in this. This is just CV and all, but you can also use this idea, because person certification is talking about you, how how you relate to the job, and then the job description. It starts from, maybe I'm a graduate of whatever. This is what I've been doing. This is what I'm going to do. This is the skills that I have. In that person specification, it's like the personal statement that I mentioned, but it's more elaborate. Like, I think they always ask for maybe 500 words or something, but you can use AI to do all of these things. It's not like you are lazy. If you use AI and you just carry AI like that and dump, that is the laziness. But if you use AI and then edit it, expatiate on it, and that is it. That's the thing. And that's why every job now they are emphasizing on using AI. It will make your life easy, especially for people who are coming up in programming or in learning SQL. See, if you are an average in SQL, apply for job. If you get it, there are AI there that will help you to grow yourself, to do some things that you yourself you will never imagine that you can do. If you can think about it, if you can, if you know what you want to do, the issue is not knowing what you want to do. If you know what you want to do, for example, you will do it. You will do it, and you will understand. Now, highlight your skills, right? Sorry, my laptop charger is going down. I forgot that I didn't plug. So highlight your skills, experiences, and then the employer's values. In some jobs, they talk about values. You can highlight it as well. Now let's go to final tips. Then I can now maybe show us what a bad CV is, and then pass, and they show us what a good CV is. All right. So final tips. Keep it 1 to 2 pages, or I mean, you can go up to 3 pages, right? But if you can keep it up to 2 pages, fine. But 3 pages is also good. 3 pages is good. But I just put it there for for people. Some people don't have much experience, so they just it's 1 or 2 pages. But for some people, I know some of us are big people. Some of us have worked in like big banks in Nigeria. Some we've worked in even in the UK. So we want to showcase it so you can make it up to 3 pages. So that they can know, okay, this person is not just it's not a small fish. The big fish, and then they need to catch you. So use clear and professional formatting. I've seen a situation where people will like they will put picture by the right, put like like table. Those things are not needed. They are not needed. You don't need it to get a job. I don't know of Nigeria. Maybe they are looking for a designer, but in this country or in Nigeria for IT, all you need is clear and professional formatting. You can use Times New Roman. You can use Calibri. I like to use Calibri for what, or you can use New Times Roman. Fine, be 12 points or 11 points. I like to use within 11 or 12 points. Bold, you can bold your sections. Like maybe make your sections 14 points or something like that. Clear, white and black. That's just the thing you need. You know, I used to do all those design before as well, but at some point, design that doesn't give me job. Why will I continue to do it? And then I do white and black, and it gives me job. Then I follow. I like to follow what works. It is foolishness to be ashamed of what is gainful. It was Bishop Oyedepo that said that. You know, once something has evidence, something has results. How will I be ashamed of it? I can't be ashamed of my white and black because I want to use color. I want to design my CV. I'm not a graphic designer, right? Yeah. So quantify your achievement where possible. Like speak about your achievement. For example, I used to be a customer service associate as an operation analyst in contact center. I think in 2022, and I used to win like star of the week, star of the month. Because to be honest, not like I was enjoying the job. I was doing it because I want to apply for an higher role, a role that I like, and I know I need my manager to give me that consent. I was winning everything. I was getting like every task, that every goal of the week that has a voice ID, 6 voice ID in a day, right? 30 in a week. I used to get like 40, and it's difficult to get because you must ask those customers their password, two or three of their password, like two, maybe two digits or whatever. And it's difficult to ask somebody, can you give me number one and number four of your password? But I was doing it. I don't know how God was doing it for me, and I was getting it. You know, I had to put it on my CV. I want star of the week because of this, because of that. I did that, and with that, I was able. My mom was like, I know this is not where you want to be, but start applying for the job. And I applied, and I moved to a new role. You know, then proofread, give somebody to review. Some of us don't like somebody correcting us, and that's what I've noticed. Like in some people, they feel like they know everything. They don't want somebody to correct them. I still give my CV to somebody to correct for me. Like I mentioned, I still reviewed my CV in November because I was applying for a role, right? I had testimony for that role, right? Give your CV. I had to get somebody as like a director level to do it for me because I was looking for a job in that area, and the person reviewed my CV and then sent it back to me in December before I went on leave. You know, be open minded. A lot of people are not open minded, right? If you're open minded, you see somebody that your colleague can correct you. But make sure it's somebody that will give you a positive criticism, not somebody that will laugh at you. But because somebody will laugh at you, I mean, it will restrict you from talking to the right people, right? So let's be open-minded, right? Let's be open-minded and let's ask people for to review our CV before you drop that CV. Ask somebody to review it for you. I mean, you can be an English expert, but definitely there's something that might miss. I've submitted a CV. I've submitted an application before. I was desperate, right? In 2022, earlier of 2022, I wanted to get a job. I've submitted CV, right? I submitted application that I didn't upload CV. You can see how desperate that can be for me. I didn't upload CV. I did everything. It was the recruiter that sent me an email that, hello, appointment. I discovered that you didn't upload this. Can you please send me your CV and I will upload it for you? I'm telling you. So those are the things that you can learn from. You know, tell somebody to because if somebody has helped you to review it, definitely you will definitely remember to upload something. Now, in closing, you need to look at the CV and ask, does this structure make sense to you? To you personally, does it make sense to you? Is it something I want? Do you have any questions about tailoring your CV for your specific roles or highlighting particular skills? Do you have any doubt about what you are doing? Right? Do you have any doubt? Do you have any doubt? So that's just it. So in conclusion, thank you for listening. All right. Then I will now show us what it means to have like a bad CV. Then I will show us what's a good CV. Then we can now take question and answer. Thank you. So I will stop sharing and share something now. But if you have any question, we can start investing questions now. If you have any doubts, anything that or anything you want to share, I know some of us we have experience in that regard. So please, you are welcome to start pouring out your ideas now.
Okay. Thank you very much for the session.
Yep.
I really appreciate. I have a question.
Okay.
So, my question is, you talked about certification.
Yep.
So, I would like to ask how, because sometimes I personally think that do we really need to do certification without being in the industry yet?
Okay.
So because I was trying to at a point I was trying to diversify to because the course I studied I can go into supply chain and procurement. So I was trying to diversify and I was going to register for some certifications in supply chain and procurement. So my
Yeah.
husband said that he doesn't think I need a certification. So,
Okay.
and in that field as well, I follow some people who are already in the industry, and what they talk about is do your CIPS 4, then you can get into the industry. So, I just wanted to clarify it. Is it needed, or do you have to get into the industry first, then you can now be certified, or you can be certified before getting into the industry? Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for that wonderful question. So it's something that a lot of people struggle with. Like it's like a dilemma, right? Some people feel like you don't need the certifications to get into the job. Some people feel like it's you need it. But I think it's it's a different thing for everybody, right? There are some jobs that you need the certifications to get it to get the role. You need the certifications to get the role, right? Why some you don't use the experience you need to get the role, and then you can get the certifications to get the role. For example, business analyst, for example, you don't need the certifications to get the role, but you need the certifications to continue on the role as a business analyst. I know that there are some certifications that they need to do, but it's not compulsory to get it. But for you to have like higher hand, because if they're interviewing like say 5 people for a role, 5 people. Let me tell you another secret. In this country, if they are recruiting for one person, the highest they can call for interview is 5 per role, 5 person per one role. If they are recruiting for 2 roles, the highest they can call is 10 person for that 2 roles. So it's 5 to 1. That's the ratio they do. So even if 1,000 submit CV, it's just 5 persons that are going to call. And if those 5 persons does not get the job, they are still going to re-advertise again. Not like those people that submitted CV, they will call them. No, they will not do it. They will re-advertise again, right? So if you are, for example, you are going for an interview, and then 5 of you, you've done interview. One thing we distinguish you if you have the certification and you did very well, right? And all of you did very well, and they are looking for something to remove one person or to remove 2 people or to remove 4 people. That certification that you have or that you don't have will be the key, right? I've heard people talk about you don't need certifications to do this, you need certifications to do this, but the main thing is look at it from that perspective that okay, if I am going for an interview, this can be a positive thing to me, and this can be like a negative thing if somebody has it, right? So there's no, I've never seen a place where they said you don't need certification to get the role. They will tell you it might not be, it's not compulsory. That's what they will put it. That's the phrase they put it. But you'll be willing to get it within the next 6 months or one year of getting the role. I know of business analysts, you don't need certification to get the job, but even data analysts, you don't need certification to get the job. I've never seen anywhere that somebody said compulsory must be you must have certificate in data analyst, like analysis or data engineering to get a role. It's not compulsory. But people do it for their own development and then to have like higher opportunity, higher hand when they are employing them. If that makes sense. For example, the one that I know is compulsory to get, if you are going to HR, I know that all those I don't is it CIS or CIPMD or something is very compulsory. Anybody that is going to HR or HR data analyst or HR whatever, CIPM or something, so I can't like recall it offhand now. But I know for HR is compulsory. You must have it before you get a job. For project management, you must have PMP. It's very compulsory because almost everybody have PMP. So why will you not have PMP to get a job? For people who are in environment, IOCH is. I've seen jobs that you must have IOCH to get a job. You must have NEBOSH to get a job. But when we are talking about data, it's not compulsory because the reason is that these things are like skills that you can do, not certifications per se. You can do certifications and not know the role. Definitely, you can. Even customer service. Do you know that customer service has certifications? People do certification for customer service, right? They do small certifications. I just mentioned lending skills. Lending skills is certification too that people do. Right. I don't know if that answers your question, but the truth is, there's no right or wrong answer about that.
Okay.
Certifications is good, but it's not something that will give you the job.
So, Mr. Poemi, can I just add a quick one?
Yeah.
I think the way you started was right. Different industry, different approach. So, but like data business and including project management, um, PMP is a general project management certification. So, but where the project management has tailored into, I think certification is good, but it's not what you should emphasize on. There are methodology that if you understand very well, even without a commensurate certification, you will still get what you need. So a good example is this. There's a lady I mentor in project management. I finished all of my certification, did advance and finish everything. So when I was still struggling to get a job, she did just Prince 2 and she got a job before I even dreamt of getting anything close. She got a job with foundation, just foundation, and I've done like six or five. So it was on that same job, everything I paid for to learn. They eventually paid for her to go and learn all of those things for free in the job. So the difference between she got a junior role that gave her entry into the system, and they paid for all of those training. And there was a guy also that I knew that did an MBA in one of the universities in United Kingdom. Yeah, went into accounting. The organization he was working for paid for all of those accounting certification that he needs to do. So different industry and different approach. But what I think is if our emphasis is on certification, it might not give us what we want. And looking at the needs, and you can using UK as an example now, looking at the competition, looking at the financial demand for some of those things, if we invest so much on all of this and you're not getting the commensurate impact, one might feel down. I was talking with somebody I met recently, and she was telling me that they told her that if you want to get, for those in UK, if you want to get COS, go and do Prince 2, go and do this one, go and do. I said, that's the slide they've been selling since the day I got to this country. So, and I see people that didn't do all of these things. I'm not saying they're not good, or please, I'm not saying they're not good. They are good if you have the resources to do them. It will expose you to industry knowledge, but it won't do
Yeah.
expose you to first hand, and first hand is what they prioritize here.
Yeah.
I've done one interview when I was in NatWest. I had to call the hiring manager to speak, and he told me point blank that I'm not interested if you have any Prince 2, if you have anything. Have you done it before? So when you're coming to the interview, let's all know what you have done, you understand what I'm saying. So,
Yeah.
but like you said, some industry, probably human resource and supply chain, I don't know about those ones, but I know some industries will prioritize if you have, because even growth in those industries, they are tied to how you grow in your professional certification journey. So, but most industry, most especially in IT fields, certification is is not what they prioritize. Thank you. And I think somebody else was raising up his or her hand. So, but I think I missed who the person is. So please, you can ask your
Yeah.
question so that Mr. Kwame can attend to everything
Yeah.
else.
I don't know if that answers your question, Rikiat.
No, it was already at Busayo asked the question.
Somebody else was raising up
Okay,
his hand.
it was Busai. Okay, I thought you were the one. Okay, it was Busai. Okay,
Yes,
as
I was
as
the
that
one.
as
Busayo asked the question. Yes, yes, thank you.
okay, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you have anybody with question too? Please just ask. We are here to rub minds together. You know. Yeah, and then okay, let's before any other questions. So let's move into like let me just show you some examples of bad CV. Something we don't think about, right? For example, look at this CV now. Stacy Smith, senior marketing manager, right? Look at the sentence here. I was building Tableau dashboard using data from amplitude and segment to visualize core business KPIs. I was building. Why? I mean, I was building. Why we use I was building? I built or I utilized, like in a reporting manner. That's what I used to tell people. Put your CV in a reporting manner and then amplify your achievement. Typo here, core business, look at the typo in that place. Then look at here, reduce. Can we see my screen? Yeah, let me
Yes, we are
see.
seeing
Yes.
it.
Screen. Yeah. Okay. So reduced. Look at typo here too. Then inconsistent punctuation. Some places they put full stop. Here now they didn't put full stop. So I don't know. Some people don't put full stop in their CV, but I put full stop in my CV. I like to put it in like the statement I've written. But some people, if you don't put, fine. If you put, fine. You know, if you want to put, fine. If you don't want to put, it's not compulsory to put, right? So some people don't want to put, some people want to put. But then, just 1 minute, please. Just 1 minute, please. Just 1 minute. Um, all right. Sorry, I needed to attend to something. Yeah. So, um, can we still see my screen? Okay. Yeah. So some people, I like to put password. I mean, full stop rather. But some people don't like. If you don't put, it's not the end of the world. It's not compulsory. There's nothing that says everybody must put full stop. Make sure you look at the errors like typos. Now, wrong sentence. Wrong sentence is another thing. I was building, is a wrong sentence. Typo. Some of us do this thing. Like I've gone to look when I started looking at this space, I've gone to look at my CVs, like the ones I've I've written too, maybe 3 years ago, and I saw that I also made the same mistake. Like you might think I am an English expert. You can make such mistake, right? Look at this now, project manager, January 2022 to present, propose solution, should be past tense. Some of us don't see it as an issue anyway. It's supposed to be proposed, incorrect spelling. Look at the 25%. Sometimes we are rushing. Like, for example, I want, especially all these NHS jobs that you want to beat the lifeline, deadline. Like maybe it's closing, they used to put their own, is it 11:59 p.m.? And then maybe you saw it a day before and you have a lot of things that you are doing, especially women that you have to cook, you have to, your children and all, and you wait for the deadline, you know you need to look at your CV. Streamlined product, you can see oversaw. These are some of the errors, some of the mistakes that a lot of people make, you know so incorrect spelling. um Let me go. Yeah. So you can see this one, operation analyst, January 2020, 2012 to June. So this is now experience. People like incorrect, like inconsistent or wrong way of ordering your experience. How can somebody say I worked January 2012 to June 2020, 2016, and then under you are saying July 2016 to January 2020? I mean, that is not. But we think these things are, like I was discussing with one of my colleagues recently that we were talking about people not preparing for interview. To be honest, I felt like how will you apply for a job if you're not, and they call you for interview and you not prepare? But she made me to realize that a lot of people don't prepare for interview, which I finally concord with, right? So, and looking at it now, how can you write a CV and look at how you are ordering your CV? That does not really. So example of a resume listing work in wrong order. That's the wrong way of listing your resume. It's not really ideal at all, at all. Now look at, this is what I was talking about. On the right page, you can see star, like red cross. That is not a good way. You are not a graphic designer, and you can see your name, graphics and web designer. You are not a graphics designer. How will you do something like this? But this is white and black. White and black. Put your experience. Put your resume, like neat, black and white. They know you are not hiding anything. But if you are designing and putting pictures, they think maybe you are a graphic designer. And some of us, our CV is like this. The one on the red. We think we want to captivate the heart of the recruiter or the hiring manager with our design. Some of us are very creative in doing logo, in all of these things. So, but you just need to keep it simple. Keep it simple. And I used to do things like this before too. This put picture, put my name, design, put italics, do a lot. But it didn't work, and I went for the things that are working. So I want us to also go for something that is working. You know. Then don't do this. Like look at this CV. Look, it's not but they are not aligned. You need to align your CV, even though you want to use bullet points. You need to align them. This is scattered. Some of us, our CVs are like that. We think we are like, we don't care about how they look, but to be honest, this doesn't look at where project manager is 20, like in the middle. It doesn't look good at all. It doesn't look good. Now I mentioned too many soft skills. Look at this: teamwork, strategic planner, leadership, adaptability, agile project manager, business analyst, blah blah blah. Prince 2. It's too much. It's called poorly constructed resume skill listing, resume skill lists, including both hard and soft. It doesn't. You are listing your skills, everything, joining them together. Prince 2, everything you are joining it. So, so you need to constructively look at it. You need to sit down and look at it. So now look at this one now. Work experience. Software engineer, XYZ, technology solution, Anytown, USA. January 20 to present. Collaborated with cross-functional teams to develop and maintain web application. Is that not sweet to hear? Implemented software enhancement, reducing application load by 15%. You know, I went for an interview recently. No, it's not recent. It was in December. And while I was talking about, they called something CPC. So I mentioned that I worked on a paper on policy, and I was able to reduce decline rates by, the first thing was reduce the decline rates by 30%. And then later I said it wasn't accepted because of the risk appetite, blah blah blah, governance and all, regulatory. Then I worked on it again, and then the man asked me, so how many percentage? And I mentioned the percentage. I saw the smile on their face. You need to quantify your achievements. Sometimes the mistake we make as people is that we don't quantify our achievements. For example, I mean, if you are in a call center, if you are in a call center, right? And can we still hear me? Because a call came in. If you are in a call center and then you
Yes, we can
pick,
hear you. I
thank
can
you,
hear you
sir.
from my end.
Okay, you pick like the largest call, and you provide the highest assistance for your team. You can put it in your CV. Like for example, if a day in your team they pick, for example, 100 calls, and you know that you pick 40 of those 100, you've picked 40% of the call within your team. You can quantify it like that. Like I pick, like I 40%. Do you know, if you pick 40%, only you picking 40% of a team that has maybe like 10 people, you can imagine how, like, quantify it, like make your success quantifiable. You know, led code reviews and provided mentorship to junior developers. For example, in my team, I did an onboarding for a risk graduate that doesn't even know how to code before. Sent all my code to her, and then started mentoring her to, now she can start things on her own. You know, Something like that. Quantify. When I go for interview, I'll say, okay, I have mentored a junior in my team to be able to work, and then I can see the result. Something like that. So project manager intern, ABC Consulting, Anytown, USA, May 2021 to August. I assisted in project planning and execution, ensuring timely deliverables. So that some of the things that I know our English, or it's not like the white people's own. But now that we are here, or some of us are in Nigeria, we are collaborating with people in the UK here or US, anywhere. We should leverage on what they have. We should leverage on what they have. And I think this will really, really help us. I don't want to start going through everything one by one, but I think we can see the pattern, and you can see how how it works. So so if you like look at about me, right? This about me is not a good one. You know, overuse buzzword can undercut the effectiveness of your resume. Innovative and highly motivated professional with excellent communication skill and passionate for teamwork, detailed oriented and result driven. I am dedicated to achieving success, blah blah blah. Seeking a challenging position where I can utilize my diverse skills. But you did not mention the diverse skills. You did not mention the skills. You need to, like I said earlier, you need to amplify your skills, in whatever you then proofreading. I mentioned proofreading. Yeah, I mentioned proofreading. Don't use less word, but don't use big thing. AI leverage. I mentioned AI. Leverage resume tools to receive target feedback. You can use AI. AI is not bad. Where AI is bad is when you use it as 100%. AI is not bad, right? AI powered resume scanner. You can use them. You can use Grammarly. If you have, if for example, for some of us who studied in the UK, I know some schools they have Grammarly. You can use it. You can ask somebody to help you to look at it. So I will share something. I mean, somebody shared this CV with me, which I feel is good. I can use as an example, and then we can ask Q&A, then we can close for today. Good saving. Oh, yeah, can we see it? Can we see it? Hello?
Yes, we can
Yes,
see
sir.
your
I
screen.
can see it from my end.
I know
Yeah.
is let me increase the percentage. Yeah, so I'll just scroll.
You can only see your documents for
Okay, you can't see the um
no,
okay,
not yet.
okay. Um let me show. Okay, okay, good CV. Okay. Can we see it now?
Yes.
All right. So okay, but if you notice in this one, like I mentioned, um I said I'm not here to tell you that this is the perfect way to do something, but how I feel that it has generated results, and how people who have spoken to, and if you go online and check, you can do your research. What I've listed for you is how you see it, 90%. But this CV is a good CV. And the reason why I said it's a good CV, somebody sent it to me. And then this CV has received like positive feedback on social media, right? And that's why I want to show it to us. But something is lacking in the CV, which is your summary, which I feel you can add to it. But then you can see contact is perfect. Email, number, address. It didn't say I'm living at number 12 at Jeremy Street, Badagry or Lagos, You don't need to show. That's how people get to know about you and come to your house. But Los Angeles, CA. I don't know if that's California or yeah, but then your LinkedIn, this is very easy. You can create a link and just put it there. I have this something like that too on my CV. Just click on LinkedIn and then it takes you to your LinkedIn. Then another thing that the person didn't add is the GitHub, which I mentioned. So, but I think this person has cognate experience. So if you don't have cognate experience, you don't have hands-on experience, please and please go and create GitHub and put your GitHub link. But if you have experience, this person has good experience. This person has good experience. Sorry. This person has good experience. That is why this person did not put all of these things. You can see technical experience. I mentioned Python. Put it in bracket. You don't know all the Python. NumPy, pandas, those are skills in Python that you use at the moment. SQL, if you don't know this, you can put there join. In my own CV, I used to put join, like the CVs I had like 2 years ago. I used to put there. I know how to do join. I know how to select statement. There's something, we have what we call the um we have the like three types of languages in SQL. We have the data divination language, we have the data manipulation language, and then we have the data selection language or so. Yeah. So I mentioned I know how to use data manipulation language. And how do you manipulate? Updates, those updates, um, inserts, those are manipulations. Those are the language that we use in SQL. Definition, data selection, select query. I put it there. So, for example, this person now, education, which I don't agree that the education should be here anyway, but because the education is not much, it's just one. So the person put it as BA data science, BA economics, and this person is first class. I told you, if you have your first class, put it. The person went to Berkeley. Berkeley is one of the Ivy League schools. That's why they are showcasing it. So you understand, which is good. Program and award. The person put it is short. Leadership, games GameStop movement less than 2% error rate. That person has showcased this education that the person even put here is like even work experience for that person. You can put Goldman Sachs inside, blah 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 blah. You know, so you can put it there, but which I feel like the work experience should come. But some of when you have like you want to showcase your first class, you want it to come first and all. But then if you can look at the work experience, perfect. Financial analysis, assess, blah blah blah, performance, something like that. Um, investment strategy, propose 5 investment strategy by this, and then which were which were adopted and could save up to 1.3 million. Everybody want to optimize like lost. They want to get best position, right? They want to get best solution. So they want to minimize costs and maximize profit, and that's what we call optimization. So every business needs optimization. So when you are talking about your CV, you need to show where you have minimized costs or you have maximized profits, and that's optimization. So that's what this person is doing. Then the person moved to capital, whatever capital, Meridian Capital. So even though this is just like you can see different places that this person has worked. So I think with that, I've been able to come to the concluding um, part of our seminar today, even though I've been the one talking. So if you have anybody that wants to share idea or you have any other questions before we leave, and thank you for listening. If you want to connect, you can connect with me on LinkedIn or any other way. Thank you.
So it's question time. So please, if you have your question, you can ask your question. You have your contribution, you can ask, you can contribute. So Mr. Kwayomi can respond. Thank you.
In when we are presenting result those days for undergraduate student, when we present result, we ask all correct. So do you want to tell me that everything I said is all correct? Because it was only Busayo that asked question. And so if do we have anything like any doubts, or do you have any issue that you're going through like at the moment concerning your CV or maybe job interview that you feel like, okay, we can, I mean, even though it's just 5 minutes, we can talk about it. If you have anything that you want to discuss or anything you want us to iron out, we can always discuss on another call. I know this is CV. We can also talk about CV in future. But then, if you think there's something you want us to talk about, yeah.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I have a very quick question for you, Mr. Olundini. You mentioned, I think basically you've answered all the questions or my questions, but I have a question in terms of those who are in UK, right? You know, when you're applying for roles, you don't upload your CV or they don't ask you some roles, I won't say most roles, some roles, they will just ask you to, which is write a personal statement which will detail your skills and every other qualification or degree. Sometimes they will tell you that you do not need to personify the personal statement, but you didn't really talk much about that. You know how to write a very good personal statement.
All right, thank you for that question. Yeah, I know it's like is one of the things they do in the UK. For example, civil service. If you're applying to any job in civil service, they will not ask you to upload your CV. In fact, they will tell you to remove anything that has to do with like your name, anything that will talk about you because of diversity, blah blah blah. Right? But then your work experience does not tell you anything. So you can upload your work experience. You can put your work experience, right? I've done that before and I used it to get a job in the civil service, even though I didn't take the role, right? Because I have something that is better than what they offered me. However, if you're talking about personal statement, I think I mentioned slightly about it when I was talking about the NHS or where they will tell you to or talk about person specification. So it's like it's like the it's like the first thing I mentioned about what's it called? Summary. But in your CV, you just put small summary. But in your if it's NHS or civil service or whatever that they ask you for person specification, that is when you need to now be elaborate about your personal statement. So this place comes handy. So you now need to emphasize on it. Though they will tell you in NHS, right? You can talk about yourself in the person specification, but in civil service, they will tell you not to talk about yourself. But everything you need to mention in that place, right, is your journey, where you've like don't mention your age, don't mention the school you attended, they don't mention the school you attended, don't mention maybe you have masters in whatever, but then they want to know your experience, where you came from, like how you evolved. Maybe you were a customer service associate. From there, you became customer service senior associate. You become the skills that you have. You know the things that you've done, the things that you are doing at the moment, and where you see yourself in future. That's what they want you to talk about, right? I know what you're talking about. I know, like civil service, they will tell you not to put your age, not to put your education. They don't want to hear anything about it, but your work experience is still something that you have to put, even though you might not want to put it like in a bullet point. You have to write in a reporting way. If you want me, I can share with you one that I've done before, that I've written that got me like three no two interviews, band 7 interview with NHS, like senior insight analyst, and then I think one senior visualization analyst or so, that I got with I think Nottingham University Hospital, then Adai University, Adai Children Hospital in Liverpool. So you know I can send that to you, and I will show you how I was able to do that. And then I've done with HMRC data analyst as well, that got me like to like the interview stage and all. So I can only share that with you, how I did not put my qualification, then my job and my work experience like gave me that leverage, you know. But you need to amplify your work experience in that type of thing. But here we're talking about the small summary that you put on your CV. That just that you know that's like your abstract. or synopsis, if we can call it like that, something like a summary of what you are, of who you are, or what you have done before. So, but in that one that you are referring to, you need to be elaborate, because they will ask you maybe like 500 words or 250 words. I can't remember. So then you need to like speak a lot of grammar. You know, in your CV, you use point, but in that one, you must write about it. I mean, senior credit risk as analyst. This is what I'm doing at the moment. This is what I've done. I've used Power BI to do this. I've used Excel to do this. I've done this with this. I've done this, that. But don't mention your education. Don't mention your age. Don't mention your state. Don't mention where you came from. I don't know if that answers your question, but we can touch base on it. I can share like maybe something with you as well to help you, if that's fine.
Okay, I think I want to also ask. We'll be doing this often, so probably the next meeting we'll be having will focus on applications that are not submitting CV, because it's very important. It's very important. First, personally, I'm concerned because I have personal interest in that also. Because of the poor response I used to get from CV submission, I stopped applying for private complaints. So I started doing government and NHS. So, and I think success rate when it comes to my applications comes from NHS, because I've seen more interviews. So I think maybe subsequently, maybe in our next meeting, we can bring Mr. Okwe to come and show us. So then we have bad application, we have good application, because just sharing briefly on it now won't give us deep insight. So this is majorly focused on CV. So maybe our next
Yeah.
training have that, and also maybe some other time we have interview
Yeah.
prep. Yeah, so we're
Yeah,
doing that.
that's fine. I know a lot of us, that is where we are. I mean, for some of us, we are applying to places where we put CV. But to be honest, a lot of people, especially civil service, is very difficult, because you are not putting your CV, you are not putting your education. You're only putting you're only putting your work experience. So I know what Rekiat is talking about. But yeah, like you mentioned, maybe in subsequent ones we can look at it. And I hope we've been able to learn one or two things today. All right.
Thank you very
Yes.
much. Thank you very much, Mr. Okwe. So please, I want to appeal to everybody. If you can drop your email in the comment section. So if need be, Mr. Okwe can send some of those good and bad CVs, so we can use some of those ideas to develop our own also. So if you can send your email to the mailbox here on the chat room, so we can copy that, so we can send some of those samples and template that you just showed us to use. So also keep watch on any platform of ours, so that you can get information on when next such a training is happening and any update about our program. So thank you very much. God bless everybody. I see
Thank you,
Glow
sir.
going back. So
All
we're
right.
running.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very
So
much, Mr.
All right.
Mr.
yeah, I
Thank you
think
very
you
much.
need to pick those emails before they close
Yeah,
the
I
team,
will.
so that yeah.
I will.
All right.
So, how many more? I have, so I have three here. Who else is still sending his email before we shut down the meeting? All right. Thank you very much. If nobody else is sending, so the three people that sent, you get the template so that you can use. Have a lovely weekend. Bye.